And okay, we're here with Ray of Not Before Coffee podcast, and I love that because I don't like to do anything before I have my coffee, but or chai tea or coffee for even though mine's decaf,
I can't do anything at all before I've had my first cup of coffee at all. Nothing.
Do you have
It's
a special
literally
mug that you use, or here we go.
Yeah, it's got smart ass on it.
Oh, smart. Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah,
My
my
girlfriend loves
sister's
that one.
kids bought it for me for Christmas about 15 years ago, and it took me ages to get what it was. I was looking at it going, oh, you think I'm smart? What's that animal? It looks like a funny dog. And it had to be spelt out for me. And then it was like, oh, thanks. I don't know if I should be complimented.
Well, hey, usually it's like compliments, like, like, oh, you're a smart ass. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. And I've been told I'm a smart ass, and then there's times where I'm called an asshole, and but
yeah, just carry on in that entire sort of train of thought there.
No, but we could there was a on we call my shopping thing, at tattoo-square-podcast.threadless.com, that you can get the mug, and I have like a wrapping of like different pictures of mine on there, and I got one for my girlfriend, and it looks so fucking badass. I wish I can go out there and get it. I completely forgot to bring it. But so whereabouts in the UK do you reside? Not like streetwise or anything, but like what town?
I live about 15 miles from Brighton, right on the south coast. I am 10 minutes from the beach.
Oh, nice.
And my my family has actually lived, or one side of my family has actually lived in this town for 6 generations.
Oh, there you go. Culture all the way through.
Yeah, of course. But only one side of my family. The other side we don't talk about.
The black sheep. We'll put them on that side over there.
Yeah, they can remain over in that side, and we forget about them until they start asking, so where does your family come from again?
It's like the dark side of the UK, it's like, like, oh, that's...
Oh no, that's the thing. It's not the dark side of the UK, it's Belgium. Belgium, Russia, and Poland.
Oh, those areas. So stay over there.
Yeah. and somewhere in Asia as well. We don't know.
Yeah, you're sprouting all over the place.
Yeah, that's it. My great grandfather was dumped on the doorsteps of an orphanage in Paris. So they don't know who his family is. They just know he was part Asian. That's all they know.
It's that's a movie right there.
Yeah, I know. It's The Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Yeah. Well, that, and also it could have been, there's another movie, I forgot what it was, but or it could have been Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. Yeah. No,
I think I prefer Elvira, Mistress of the Dark to the my own sort of connection to Hunchback of Notre Dame.
But no, I'm not saying there's connection to it, but it's like she was a baby in the movie, and then left on the doorstep of a monastery. So it's like that kind of brought it together.
Exactly.
It wasn't a Hunchback kind of thing. But believe me, I just...
At least the Hunchback of Notre Dame was in the same city.
Yeah. So, but what else is there? Now, my question is, and I've been wanting to find this out, because I know certain countries, like whenever there's a holiday, like for us Americans, we have 4th of July, we got like Halloween and Christmas. Some holidays in certain countries they don't go on the day, like say Halloween is on the 31st, and they're like, oh, it's on this day. Is there any holidays that's not on the day? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know exactly. Well, I suppose in a way we have obviously the 11th of November, Remembrance Sunday. It's not always, obviously, Remembrance Sunday isn't always on the 11th. We have 2 minutes silence at 11 o'clock on the 11th every single year.
Yeah.
But Remembrance Sunday is the closest Sunday to the 11th because it's always on a Sunday. But holidays and things, our bank holidays, we have Good Friday and Easter, and every single country Good Friday and Easter is a different date every year.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But we have two bank holidays in May. We have May Day bank holiday, which is the spring bank holiday, first Monday of May.
Yeah.
And then we have the late May bank holiday, which is the last Monday of May. Though next year it's changing for the Platinum Jubilee. We're getting an extra day for the first time in ages. For the first time since Kate and William's wedding, we are getting an extra day.
Oh, okay. All right. You know, they're helping you.
And
you get an extra day.
Yeah, it's because it's the Queen's 70th year of her reign.
Yeah.
So we get an extra day off to commemorate it. There's going to be loads of parties and everything else. And then obviously we have a holiday in August, and then it's Christmas and New Year. We have 8 bank holidays, but that's in Britain, in England, because Scotland has different bank holidays, and so does Wales and Northern Ireland.
All right. Do you? I think I asked you this. We call it like on Twitter and all that. Like horror movies, you're not really. Yeah.
Did you last year? I think I proved I love vampire films.
Okay.
Could watch them till the cows come home, and my love of those started with The Lost Boys.
Oh, of course, yeah.
I was 13 when it came out, and it was the epitome of that. Added to the fact that I had a huge crush on Corey Haim, But I think every 13-year-old girl had a crush on Corey Haim. Not Corey Feldman, Corey Haim. Yeah, exactly. Every single 13-year-old got everywhere.
Like Corey Haim and Corey Feldman, and there's like another Corey somewhere. Yeah, I'm just putting.
There is another Corey. I can't remember. Corey Nemec. It was Corey Nemec. Yeah. That was the third one, but it was kind of like the 4 Chris's.
Yeah, it's like because Lost Boys. I'm like I love the whole thing because I was like, oh, like where you got a T-shirt, buddy. Yeah, yeah. But they have like so much some great stars on there. Even the guy that played Bill and Ted from Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure was
Alex Winter.
Yeah,
Alex Winter. So, I think that was his first role.
I believe it was, and then I think that's how he got the thing for Bill and Ted and all that. So. Because I haven't seen him anywhere else, and I'm like, but then when I
I think he was in a film called Freaks as well, which
I've
was
heard
about.
Of it.
I think it was it was about circus freaks or something.
Yeah.
But I remember that came out around the same kind of period of time.
All right.
But it wasn't. It was a cult thing rather than a massive hit.
Yeah. So
this is movie trivia person.
Yeah. Well, what is your favorite? Not favorite movie, but like movies that's coming out now. Since everything's coming out, what is a movie that you are looking forward to?
That's the thing. I really want to see Shang-Chi because I am a Marvel girl through and through. I don't do. It sounds bad. I don't do DC at all. I think that they've drawn the short straw when it comes to film adaptations.
Yeah, I mean, there's certain areas. I mean, I follow like comic books and everything else, and then when I was younger, and to this day, I think I still got 5 to 6 like big ass like boxes of comic books, and actually we caught somebody. I forgot who it was. Somebody. One of the podcasts I did a 100th episode on my first season, and I did 3 giveaways, and one giveaway was a stack of comics that I had, and then I gave it Ye Old Crime Podcast got a necklace.
Oh, I love her.
Yeah. I did a podcast with her, an interview I think a week ago, 2 weeks ago, so that's going to be coming out in a couple of weeks because I always do podcasts like interviews and it goes in order, so it's not like you're
nice and organized then.
Yeah, it's like it's organized, so every week I'm covered for every week, so that way I can go and do more stuff and more interviews and set them up. So it goes like that. So every week it's like covered and everything else. So I know we got her, and then we call Dad's, was it Dad Bod's history podcast. They got like horror memorabilia with like arcade stuff. And I heard their podcast, and they were like, "Oh, we got stuff from Tattoo Squid, it's Dre, and we got a Nightmare on Elm Street bag." And he goes, "I'm not into horror, but I could use this for groceries." And,
That's going to make a good impression at the grocery store.
yeah, I know. And then he had a child, Chucky, the movie Chucky, the
Yes,
child's
I
play.
went and saw that in the cinema.
Oh yeah, I seen that too. It's like, but he had like, because these are friends of mine that do have a video game store, and they
Oh,
gave me,
wow.
they donated stuff for me to give out and all that. So I was like, well, here's a the tote bag. There's a Chucky hat, like a trucker hat,
Yeah.
and two belts. One that says PlayStation, and one says Legend of Zelda, and a Harley Quinn umbrella. So I was listening to the podcast because they showed my name on there. They tagged me, and I'm like, all right, I gotta listen to it now. And I'm like, I'm listening to it. It's like, all right, well, we're not really horror people, and I'm not really liking horror, but I like the Legend of Zelda, and maybe this and this, and I'm like, okay, cool. So then they got that, and Squid Talks. That's what it was. We got the stack of comics, and I actually did an interview with him, and he said that he was never into comics until he saw the comics that he got, and he figured it was going to be like 3 or 4. There were about like 25 of them.
That's the thing. I think comics are, I know when I was a kid, they were considered a boys thing far more than a girl's thing.
I
in the
think there's
80s.
there's some girls.
Yeah, that's the thing. There are, but I grew up in a small village.
Oh, okay, yeah.
A really small village.
Mm.
We had one bus an hour. We lived like 3 miles from the train station, and it was pretty much the middle of nowhere. So we had very limited resources. There was a corner shop that sold comic books, but didn't sell a very, very big collection of them.
Yeah.
And mostly magazines and things.
Yeah.
Because it was newsagents. And getting comic books was not the easiest thing. And then they started to get really expensive.
Yeah, now it's like $7-8 I think a comic now. I think I could be wrong. I'm going to get like,
you can buy a book for that.
Huh?
You can buy a book for that. I'm a massive reader.
I used to like read. I mean, I read, and I say that because we could. I had an apartment in Pennsylvania, and friends of mine would come over, and I had these books, and I loved, and I still love Preston and Childs. There's two authors that teamed up and did a series called the Pendergast series. It's like a thriller, and they had a movie out called The Relic.
Yeah, the name was familiar.
Yeah, because they did a book on that, so now they made a movie of the Relic, but that's part of the Preston and Childs kind of togetherness of it, the whole thing. And I started reading it. I was reading one called Brimstone, and I could not put it down. I was reading and reading and reading. And long story short, I had all these books in my apartment, and my friend's girlfriend was like help cleaning, and she goes, "You got books? You can read?" And I'm like, ooh. Yeah, I can fucking read. Like just because I don't really have books around that everybody sees, and I'm like, I mean, I read, so I'm like, but they were just shocked that I had like books that, not like comic books or something. It was just regular books. So
I have books in 4 of the 5 rooms in my flat.
Oh shit. I love when people say that. My flat. I love that. Just
well, it is a flat. I have a flat on the 1st floor. And in the US, that would be I have an apartment on the 2nd floor.
Oh, okay. All right. So no, I just love the way it's been said, like, because I always like my girlfriend like watches like murder mysteries and all that, and it's more like in the UK, and it's
Oh, so
just
she
like,
likes Agatha Raisin then.
oh yeah, no, she what was
I love that one.
oh, what the hell was that one that she has? She got I forgot the name. Um, but there's like this guy we call, I don't know, he's like a big hefty guy. He had like a white beard, like beady glasses. I forgot what he's like, an inspector, and he's trying to solve mysteries and murders, and she just watches that like it's no tomorrow,
Yeah.
that and baking shows, from the UK. So
So the Great British Bake Off, which
yeah,
I think you call the Great British Baking Show.
so I guess I don't know. She watches it. I seen one or two episodes. It's really fun, actually. Even the rocker
Yeah.
guy.
New season starts in 2 weeks, I think.
Yeah,
Over
she
here.
told me about it. She's like, oh, can't wait. But but there's
I'm kind of the same about a lot of procedurals. I love one that came out of New Zealand called The Broken Wood Mysteries.
oh, okay.
And I was going through my TV channels. It's on Acorn in the US, but I was going through my free TV stations over here on my Amazon. And please do not set that thing off. And it all of a sudden I noticed that they've got the first 2 episodes of season 7. So it's like, yes, there's my entertainment for tonight.
Oh yeah, she does the same thing. It's like Expanse, I think. It's like a sci-fi show.
Yeah, on Amazon.
Yeah, and then she's just like, oh, she goes, you go watch what you're gonna watch. I'm gonna watch this. And I'm like, that's fine. Okay, I'll be over there. Yeah. I was watching all my horror movie ones and action and
Oh, I love action films.
yeah, like what is your typical action films that you would watch?
Typical action films. Well, one of my favorites, the classic, is Die Hard.
Oh, of course, yeah.
That is the classic, but I love almost anything with car chases in it. It is a Christmas movie. That is a Christmas movie.
What is the phrase that they say? It's like, it's not Christmas unless you see Hans Gruber fall from the Takamori
Takamori Chow. Hang on, and now my brain's gone.
Yeah, I know we're just going black.
Yeah, exactly.
When he falls from the building,
Yeah, exactly. But I think that is our go-to Christmas film.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's like the go-to. That and The Grinch. And
I don't think I've ever seen it, but I think that's
Jim
a
Carrey?
definite American thing.
But Jim Carrey kind of.
I think the Grinch in general is a very American thing. I know it's Dr. Seuss, but I think it's far more. I know that people watch it, but I think it is far more an American thing.
Yeah.
Muppet Christmas Carol, crossing the lines. I prefer Scrooged.
Oh, okay. There you go. There's actually
it's Bill Murray.
Yeah. Speaking of Bill Murray, and they're gonna have a Ghostbusters.
Afterlife.
Yeah, Afterlife. I think in November. Yeah.
Wasn't that supposed to come out last July or something?
Yeah, no, because they did have like a little teaser thing where the shed, and then you see Ecto-1, and then
Paul Rudd.
Yeah, no, but I didn't know about Paul Rudd until they showed the whole commercial. Now like the whole thing, and in the beginning it was like the fields, and then they had the shed, and then Ecto-1 looking, like the wind blew, and I'm like, and it went, I'm like, oh, they're gonna do another one. I'm like, nice. But then I thought it was Stranger Things they were gonna do a commercial for.
No, that it's got the kid from Stranger Things in it.
No, I know, but I thought that whole with the field.
You thought it was a Stranger Things ad?
Yeah, that's what I thought it was. I thought it was a Stranger Field kind of thing. And then when it had Ecto-1, I'm like, I was like that little kid going, yes, yes.
That's the thing. I think there are certain things that bring out the kid in a person anyway.
Well, apparently we call the guys at my work, that we got so bored that they made a screenplay of our working area.
Okay.
Well, they were like, because we got a whole bunch of people, and it on a Sunday, and I hope nobody from work is listening to this, but on Sunday we call it, like, usually they got something to do and sometimes we don't, but we were trying to figure out who, like, a celebrity wise, would play any of us, who would be a good fit. And we were going on. So Bill Murray was for me. I was like, oh, okay, I can see that. I guess I want to see him get tattoos on him, go like that, and that would be fucking cool. But then our supervisor was Dan Aykroyd, and then there's another tall guy we call it. He was like Winston, from Ghostbusters. I forgot what the name. And then everybody else was like, oh, there's Eugene Levy, what the hell is the well, anyway, there was like a Spanish woman we called that she was going to play the Spanish girl, and then we just like started naming everybody, and there was like a list. and then I told some of the people, and they're like, really, that person, really? Oh, John Stamos, Christopher Walken, Richard Mall from Night Court, would play the security guard we have, And I'm like, well, what's the outline? What's going to be? It's like, well, it's going to be the basic, we're going to do our work and all that and just be crazy. I'm like we usually do. I'm like, okay. They've done that for rental cars, like on Netflix, there's one about rental car. The
Which one's?
oh god. It's like a not a Japanese, like a Korean.
Oh, you're talking about Kim's Convenience.
Yes, thank you.
Which stars Simu Liu from Shang-Chi.
Yeah, exactly.
I like
the rental car segment part of that.
Yes.
Which that one I think has a new season coming out, or it is out.
No, it's been finished. It's finished. The last season aired this year, and it was cancelled after that.
Yeah, I know. It's like, Netflix is like, there's like a love-hate with Netflix for me, because I'm like,
that's the thing, that show isn't that show doesn't belong to Netflix, though. It's a Canadian network.
Yeah, but I think Netflix just plays it, I guess, or whatever.
Yeah,
I don't know.
The same as they do a lot of that. I think they do that with a lot of shows as well because I think it's probably one of the only places you can get a lot of the British shows too.
Yeah. All right, so Marvel superheroes. Yes. What is your favorite? What is a girl's favorite superhero in the UK?
Well, it depends. If you listen to my niece, it's Spider-Man, mostly because she has a crush on Tom Holland, but she is just 21, so we'll excuse her.
Your excuse. Go.
She's also she's doing dance and everything at university, so she's like, oh well, I'm in the perfect position to meet him, and I'm thinking, okay, if you say so. See, that's the thing, I don't have a favorite. When it came to Civil War, I picked a side.
Okay.
But it wasn't necessarily the side of my favorite superhero.
Okay.
Because I think the best Avengers film for me is always going to be Iron Man. No matter what happens, no matter how many of the films are amazing afterwards, that's the best one for me.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But when it comes to Marvel heroes, I always loved Gambit. He was my favorite out of every single character that I read about when I was a kid. He was my favorite because he was a sarcastic arse. And I liked that about him. Even when I was about 12, I still liked that about him. Well, which is why I'm kind of relieved
too. So he was one of the ladies. So.
It's kind of why I'm relieved that they aren't going forward with Channing Tatum playing him in a film, because that would destroy things for me.
Yeah, you put a good point on it. Like, I'm not saying that they should, but that it would be up there. We call it Channing Tatum being like Gambit or something with the way things are with like movie cinemas and everything else, they couldn't make him look like Gambit, but there is a guy
Yeah,
that is Gambit from the Wolverine.
yeah, that was Taylor Kitsch, I think.
I believe so. I'm good with faces, but I'm not good with names.
The guy from Friday Night Lights.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes, that was Taylor Kitsch.
Yeah.
I'm quite good with names. I'll literally sit there. I can go into the cinema. It drives my family insane. I will go into the cinema and we'll sit there and something will come on the screen and I'll go, that person was in season 3, episode 4 of Buffy. And it drives people nuts. And the thing is, I don't know how I remember any of it.
You and my girlfriend gotta meet, because honestly, she does the same fucking thing. Yeah.
But I'm also the person who went and saw a film with Ryan Felipe that was all about computer viruses and hacking. And I sat there and I was with a friend and I said, no, it wasn't. No, that's Johnny Lee Miller and Angelina Jolie.
Yeah.
So I sat there and I went, that code wouldn't work. And she said, what do you mean? And I said, that code that they've written there, it wouldn't work. It wouldn't do anything. They haven't ended it properly. And she got up and moved.
I'm saying because my girlfriend would go and sit there and we'll watch a movie, and it's always like, and I know she watches a lot of films and I watch a lot of films too, but I don't go and say, oh, I know that guy, I know that girl, I know where they're from. And I'm like, all right, quiet, watch the movie, stop. We'll just watch it and have a good time. It's like, I know you've seen them all.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think I remember quite a lot of it because when I talk with my mum about films, she has got the worst memory for actors' names and things.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I have to remember what they've been in. We'll watch something, and a perfect example is we watched Black Widow. My mum paid for it so we could all watch it because both my mum and I are vulnerable. My mum has cancer and I have diabetes and a few stupid immune disorders that are really annoying. But so she bought Black Widow for us all to watch. It cost, I think it was $19.99 in the UK. And for that $19.99, 12 people got to watch the film on the day it came out. And considering cinema tickets are probably about £12 each, we'd have got 1.25 people into the cinema for that price. And the day after we watched the film, she said to me, oh, well, I watched it and that woman, she killed her mother. And I said, what? And she said, well, that woman, she killed the woman who was in the beginning of the film. It was her mother. I said, it was the same woman. And she said, and what about that man? He was really skinny and he looked like the person from that TV program that's based in the 80s. So, oh my God. I mean, Stranger Things. And she said, the one that's got that girl in it that's from that film with that guy. And it's like, what film? What happened in the film? Yeah. And that is exactly how our conversations go, which is why they last 3 hours.
Sounds like me almost a little bit. I think back then.
Yeah, so that's why I have the movie trivia in my head. Yeah. It's purely because it's self-preservation.
I'm the guy that my brother-in-law calls the man that knows useless information. The king of useless information. The reason why he says that, because you remember watching MTV?
No, because we didn't have satellite when I was a kid. I watched it when it became nothing but TV programs.
Yeah. What we called it was like MTV. They had I watched them when I was like younger, and it's like videos, and then you watch like Spice Girls and this and that or whatever. So they had a box, and it was a traveling game. It was like a trivia pursuit game, but it was an MTV.
I love Trivia Pursuit.
Yeah, it's like an MTV traveling trivia pursuit. And I bought it, and I don't even know where the hell it is. I mean, it's probably in somebody's basement somewhere. But yeah, we opened it up and we just got bored, and my brother-in-law was like, "Hey, let's test this out." Okay, what, and then he would go, "Who is married to the lead singer of Whitesnake?" And I'm like, "Toddy Contain." And they're like, "How the hell do you know this?" Like I'll have like all this knowledge of the whole thing, and it's
That's the thing. One person's useless information is another person's gold mine.
yeah, that's true. I got a lot of gold in my noggin.
Well, that's the thing. You're the perfect pub quiz companion.
Yeah, to a point. Nowadays I'm like, I don't know what the hell happened yesterday. Yeah. And I'm like,
That unfortunately is called getting older.
I know. It's not really that good. That's why I'm trying to get tattooed before I'm 50 a lot more, which is going to happen on Sunday.
What are you getting done on Sunday?
Well, since my podcast is called Tattoo Squid, which is TA2 shortened for a tattoo, and it's Tattoo Squid, I figured let me go and get, because I have an octopus, which is, I don't know if you can see it, like right there.
Yep, I can see it.
So that one is just an octopus, but I saw that and I'm like, all right, let me go and make a podcast like that, or just have a name like that. I want to have it for my license plate. So I figured, okay, let me go and put a squid on my back. So I went to this guy, and I was actually going to go with a person that has done my tattoos before, like years and years ago, but she is so like well known in our town and all that she's like you had to like wait like a couple of months, and then I'm like, listen, I can't wait months. I got money right now. If I don't use it now, I'm gonna
You'll
burn
use it on something else.
Exactly. So I want to get this done. I want to get it done. And then I found this one guy, and his name was Little Dan, and I'm like, okay, don't care. And the reason why, because he's really short, and I'm like, but I'm a tall guy, so it doesn't matter.
Define very short.
Well, no, I mean for him, like to me, I'm 6'1", so he's like 5 foot, so he's about the same size as my girlfriend. So
I'm 4'11".
Yeah, well, I'm not saying short is bad. I'm just saying that I'm like I love short people. It's just like the guy was just like he just looks up and he goes, you're tall. You're a big boy. I'm like, I eat my Wheaties. But that's the tattoo I'm gonna get. So hopefully it's a decent size, but we'll see what happens on Sunday. So do you have any tattoos? Or
I do not. I have a few ear piercings, and that's pretty much it. I have enough to do with needles.
yeah, that's true. I hear you. Yeah, because I was like, oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
But that's the thing. I mean, I never found anything that I really wanted to have on my skin. And I think you need to have that. I want this. This says something about me.
Yeah.
To do it. And I've never had that.
Yeah. I know.
I don't think a bookworm looks that good.
No, I mean, my dad was saying the same thing. He goes, well, why don't you get something that means something? I'm like, I do. I got my dog on my arm. I got, this and that. I like dark stuff, like demonic looking things, but not so demonic that it's going to scare somebody. It's like the basic, gargoyle on the tombstone thing or whatever. But my dad would go, and my dad's from Hungary. So my dad's from another country. He's from Hungary. And he's like, when we're kids, when we grew up, we never had to get tattoos. That was like, wasn't us, and blah, blah, blah. Let alone my dad gets one done at 72. His very first one done at 72. And I got an email from my brother, and he goes, Dad's first tattoo. And I'm like,
what?
Wait, what? I'm like, and I was in shock. I could not believe it. And then I saw it, and basically, I don't know if I can show you here. You see the Hungarian?
Yeah.
right here. So he's got that, like here, and it's smaller than this. He got his first, and then I went and got done. I'm like, Dad, mine's bigger. And I'm like, he goes, shut up. Yeah, but other than that, we could, he's got like maybe 4, I guess. So he got the one, and he started going more. Yeah, I think he's done now because he's 84 now. So
Wow.
now he's just relaxing.
That's the thing. Not one member of my direct family has tattoos. Not one. Not my brother, my sister. My sister's got 3 sons. 2 of them are adults.
Yeah.
Not her husband. Nobody has got a tattoo in our family, in my direct family at all.
All right, you get your family over here, and we'll go and get tattooed all together. Yeah.
That's the thing. As I say, it's one of those things I think that you give a lot of thought to. My niece wants one, but she needs to have it somewhere really discreet because of her career choice.
Okay. Yeah. No,
she's training to be a stage dancer, and you have too many tattoos, it's very difficult to get a job.
Yeah.
Because she wants to work on the stage in that specific area, and it's too much makeup to cover stuff.
Like, what's stage dancing?
Classic.
Okay, I mean, but I would say if she was going to get something like maybe the rib area, because that way you wear something like right there, they're not going to see it. I can understand they're doing classical, like the leg wise, you can't really do because you're going to have the flowy dress, I guess. I believe. I'm not sure.
Sometimes, mostly very, very, very short skirts.
Okay, that's not the classic I'm thinking of, I guess. All right.
Tutus.
Tutus.
They're straight out rather than down. Yeah. So that they may as well not be a skirt. They're kind of like a tray around your waist.
Yeah. Coffee and one?
Yeah, it'd be kind of handy for me. I can just ask her to come and stand by my bed.
I know. Believe me, if I wear a tutu, then they're gonna be asking questions like, "Okay, Andre, what's wrong?" And I'm like, "Nothing.
You need a therapist."
I like what I'm wearing now. And it's actually funny because my boss would go and just like examine my shirts to see what I'm wearing. Like he's very intrigued on what I wear, and I'm like, really? I'm like, what's wrong? He goes, I wore a red shirt one time, and he's like, this is the first time I've ever seen you wear a red shirt, anything but black.
You've got red on your shirt.
No, but it's red, but it's mostly, most of the shirts I wear, it has different colors on, but it's mostly black.
Mostly black.
But I had one where it's mostly red. And he's like, that's the first time I've ever seen you wear something that's not all black. I mean, that's not the color black. It's red. And you go, no, nice. And then I wore a Hawaiian shirt. I wore a Hawaiian shirt just to piss him off.
You really wanted to throw him off.
Yeah,
that's the thing though. Red is still quite a dark horror color.
Yeah. So that's like my favorite colors: black, red, and blue.
Nothing wrong with that. My favorite color is, well, I like blue and purple mostly.
Oh, there you go. No, I like purple too. I got a purple. Where did it go? One of those.
I can see it.
Yeah.
Yep. See it right there.
Cancer ribbon. For my late wife. She had cancer. So, and then I got that's why I got tattooed. Honestly, people, if you're gonna have memories. Not even the memories though, because like when you get like so upset, there's people that get upset, they drink, they do drugs, if anything, or whatever, they do anything. Me, I get tattooed because it's like therapy, for me. But that's just me. I'm not saying for everybody else to do it, because if you only get tattooed and you get upset, just get tattooed, and it's like the tattooist you're talking to, it's like talking to a therapist anyway. He says,
I just eat chocolate and gain about 10 pounds.
Well, see, then you just gotta get tattooed and all that. You don't have to worry about the chocolate and the thing. Yeah.
Yes, either chocolate or I have my mental breakdown, one or the other. But they are kind of reliable old friends.
It's like, where's my friend? Come here, chocolate.
Exactly. Come and keep me company for a few weeks.
That was me. We call it when I, years ago. I'm like, I started grabbing like bottles of alcohol, and then I'm like, okay, I gotta do something different. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go get tattooed, and that's what I wanted to do anyway. I wanted to get like one sleeve and another sleeve, and then that was gonna be it. And then I got my chest done, and then I got my hands and my fingers, and I started going over places, and to the point where my tattoo artist had to tell me I had to get an intervention. That's how bad it was. Yeah.
But the thing is, it sounds like they mean something to you, though. And if
Yeah,
they
it
mean
does.
something to you, it's not harming anyone else.
No. I mean, he was joking around about it, but the way I went about it was that when I was working, I had like I'll work like 3 days, like 12-hour shifts. I was working 3 days, then I was off 2 days. Then I'll work another 2 days, and I'm off 2 days or whatever. So those days off, I'm at the tattoo shop. So every days off, I was at the shop. So even if I had one done on my arm, I would go in the next 2 days and get something done on my leg, and then I'll get something done on the other leg and on the other one. So that's why he was saying that, you need an intervention.
You must have a high pain threshold.
Yeah, that's what he loved about me, because I would just sit there like a robot and not even flinch. Like, the worst part that you can be able to get one done is your shin.
Well, the
And
bone's close to the surface there, isn't it?
yeah, it's like really rough, and it's like very, you can hit it, you're gonna hit it. And I have there's a Mexican couple gunman, like from the West. There's a skeleton, so there's a married woman, a skeleton, and there's a Mexican skeleton with the whole bandolero and the hat.
Yeah.
And so I got that done, and on the shins. And he's like, "Oh, that's gonna hurt." I'm like, "Oh well, gotta be."
That's the funny thing, though, isn't it? There are certain areas of the body you never forget injuries to.
Yeah.
And it sounds so stupid. I was probably 8, maybe 7, 8 years old. And there was a boy at my primary school called Grant who threw a rock.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it was a mud clump that contained a rock
at
my leg, and it hit my shin. And it was so painful. And I've never forgotten. It bled like God knows what.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, something like that.
Which is why I know the shins are really painful.
Yeah, no, they are. It's just, I'm like, okay, I'll just walk it off and everything else. And that's like not a problem. And then I heal really quickly. So, I think that was the other reason why he liked it, because he's like, wow, you heal like really fast. I felt like I was Wolverine at one point,
Well, complete with adamantium claws.
Yeah, but my favorite Marvel person is Colossus. So just think about it. You get into a scuffle, or you get into, like, if you're driving and you're probably gonna get hit by a car, all you gotta do is change into like Colossus, like a metal thing, and you're not gonna get hurt at all.
Yeah. They kind of did him dirty in the X-Men films.
Yeah, and they made him a little
bit weird in Deadpool.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Not to say the T word, but they made him look. They made
him seem quite weak.
Yeah.
In Deadpool, I think that was the issue. They made him very self-righteous and dull.
The second one was good. That's what I loved about when he fought Juggernaut in the second one.
Yeah.
You should see my face. I'm like, yes. Oh. I'm like, he's gonna finally he's gonna, yeah. But have you seen Suicide Squad?
Which one?
Actually, the Suicide Squad, which is the second one.
No, I haven't. I saw the first one and was not massively impressed. As I said, DC is not really my thing.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
the last decent DC films for me personally were Christopher Nolan's Batman trilogy or his Dark Knight trilogy.
yeah.
They were the last decent DC films.
I
It feels now that they're trying to get the success that Marvel has with their universe,
yeah.
and they haven't got the balance right yet.
I think they did with Justice League a little bit. Just they started having some
Which
more.
version of the Justice League?
Not the guy that did the old version. I mean, the very first one, the first version of Justice League.
So the one that was done by Joss Whedon, who did the Avengers.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. I like
And
I said, I'm a,
and there's the connection. It's the same with, I think, the Suicide Squad. My sister's oldest boy was talking about it, and he said that he was more impressed with it than he was with the first Suicide Squad. And
yeah,
then he said, but of course they got James Gunn to do it, so they nicked Disney's director to get a decent film.
yeah. It's I don't know, I like both. I watch both sides. I'm like I'll watch it all because I love comics and I love superheroes. I was
You see, that's
actually
the thing. I think it's really sad because DC has really good storylines in their comic books,
yeah.
but they just can't seem to translate it onto screen very well.
I think they try and then they overdo it, and then you're like, what the fuck happened?
And
Yeah,
it's too dark. There's a real drain of color
yeah.
in their films.
Well, it's like Titans, like on HBO Max. They got a thing called Titans.
Yeah, it's on Netflix over here.
Yeah. Oh, they got Netflix. Oh wow. Yeah, I've been doing it on now. Anyway, I was watching. I got down to the third season of the whole thing, and it's like very, like you said, like dark. Very dark.
Focus on every single thing about that and forget everything else, because people don't want to see the fun stuff. They just want the depressing, dark stuff that's just no.
Yeah. I like Batman, and I don't really know like series wise, but the one where Heath Ledger was the Joker.
Yeah, that's the Christopher Nolan Batman
Okay,
trilogy.
all right. I wasn't sure which one that was. Like, I just know it's like certain ones because I know the other ones, like other podcasts, like second watch. They were like they hated Batman and Robin. They're like, oh, it's so bad, it's so bad.
Oh, Batman and Robin was a pretty bad film, but at the same time, it had the comedic aspects that a lot of the rest of it has sort of lost.
And it's more cinematic wise as well.
It was in a way, it was almost like I know it was made in the 90s, but it was very, very 80s carryover.
Yeah.
Because the first Batman was made in 1989, I think. Not the first Batman ever, but the first one in that trilogy, in that series with Michael Keaton.
Not Michael Keaton, man. He's like awesome. I love how he does like the whole, he can be serious, but he can be funny and then back to serious.
Yeah.
And he's still in like the whole Marvel, universe kind of thing. So not the.
But I think he's also, that's the thing. I mean, he is in the Marvel universe because he was in Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But he is also, I believe he is appearing in, I want to say he's appearing in The Flash.
I think you're right. I think he might be in that, but he's doing some other stuff too. And I'm not exactly sure which one. Like I said, we're getting old. My brain is not doing what it's supposed to do. Like,
yeah, I think it's Friday evening. It's been a long week. I think everybody's like going,
but
you're not quite on it, don't worry.
But what's funny about it? Because after when I finish with you with this one, then I'm doing a podcast with somebody. We call it like at 9:30 my time. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
At 9:30 your time, I'm going to be asleep.
Yeah, it's like, and my girlfriend's like, "Wait, you got what? Don't you figure this out?" I'm like, Yeah, I just didn't realize it was going to be like on top of each other, but
Not quite on top of each other though.
not really. But I mean, I need to try to get like some kind of food before I do that 9:30 one. So, but it's so what does, not before coffee, what does it entail?
Well,
If anybody that doesn't know, yeah.
Well, it is essentially it is my stream of consciousness more than anything else. And I started it purely because I was doing a podcast with someone else and it wasn't quite going how I wanted. And I had all these grand ideas. I wanted to interview authors, wanted to talk more about films and books and not be so restricted by a theme. And I started a very, very short-lived podcast called Ray's Reading Room.
Okay.
I did 8 episodes where I did nothing but ramble aimlessly for about an hour about books. And then I realized this wasn't quite what I wanted. And I did a bit more research, thought, well, I can talk film as well. I watch a lot of film.
Yeah.
And I watch a lot of different types of film because I don't think that there is a specific theme running through, though for some reason my most popular episode is about a Disney Channel original movie called Lemonade Mouth. And I mean, it legit, it has listens every single day.
Ah,
I have no
never
idea
heard
why.
that one, but
No, that's the thing. I'd never heard of it before I did an episode on it. And I did an episode on it and thought, oh, this is going to be a cute little add-on. And it's less than a year later, over 350 listens. It's like, okay, obviously I need to find another one of those then.
yeah.
But then I thought, I have a massive problem with coffee.
Yeah.
Huge problem with coffee. I drink at least 5 or 6 cups a day, if not more, and I can't function before it. So I thought, these are all the things that I can't do until I've had my coffee. So I'm going to start talking about them.
Yeah.
But then I thought, I need to add myself into this. And one thing that a lot of people experience and they don't like to necessarily talk about that much is their mental health issues.
Yeah.
And I've had mental health problems since I was, oh gosh, really young. And I'm talking in early double digits.
Yeah.
And I was first diagnosed with serious mental health issues when I was 16. Went to a therapist, had loads of medication and everything else. And they recently decided to tell me, oh, did you know that you might probably be on the spectrum? It's like, okay, thanks for that one. I don't need any more issues. Thank you.
Yeah.
Let's forget that. So I thought it's a good thing to talk about the things that I go through every single week. Because some weeks are really good. And then other weeks I can't even walk to the chemist without having a panic attack.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I thought, I'm going to open up about this and talk about it. And if it helps just one person to go and get help or talk to someone, then I'm doing then that particular part of my experience is worthwhile.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that is really what I wanted from it, was to know that people out there who are listening to it know that they're not alone. But they can also listen to me ramble aimlessly about film and book for half an hour.
Yeah, because there is a guy that has a podcast, Tim from 2010
Yes.
Minutes, and he is like the ambassador of like talking about mental health and everything else, and I I give like props to him. He puts it out there. He talks to everybody, and he's a great dude. I mean, I did two weekly episodes with him, and we talk about wrestling. We talk about and whatever we thought of, we talk about, and it's like we just known each other for years, but it was just like that moment.
Yeah.
So I mean, he does help out a lot of people. So I don't know if you talked to him lately, or
No, he's someone that's kind of in the same community with. And he's not someone I've spoken to loads. It's really strange. When I first started in podcasting, and it's literally my first year was on the 15th of this month.
Yeah.
I celebrated my first year. And when I first started, I had maybe 20 followers. I had no episodes out initially. And I wasn't sure where I fitted in, and everybody was so welcoming.
Yeah.
And the community has grown and grown. There are obviously factions breaking off and doing their own thing, but it's such a welcoming community that you feel like you can talk about anything.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, there are certain things that you're not going to sit there and confide in your bank details and everything else with. But at the same time, you feel like you can talk about stuff and people are going to listen.
Oh, yeah. No, definitely. Yeah. It's like I don't want to say support group, but that's what it feels like at some point.
Exactly.
And I see
Friday, and it's like, is it really Friday today?
it's like Fridays is like your alone time, to sit back, relax, have that 15th coffee a little bit,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And ignore my cat whining that she wants food constantly.
Oh, what kind of cat?
I have a ragdoll.
Oh, wait, I think I've seen those. Always, I forgot what they look
Very,
like.
very, they're incredibly fluffy. And they're quite
Oh,
large.
yeah. Like
She's got a very, very
like Cats and Dogs, like the movie goes, I will kill you. No.
yeah, kind of. She's I think they originated from Persians and Burmese or something.
Yeah.
She's very, very long fur that gets everywhere. I mean, legitimately everywhere. I've been pulling it out of my eyelashes because she decided that she was going to sit under my chin when I was trying to eat my dinner. And she has got a really, really long, very, very fluffy tail. And blue eyes.
Like,
I mean, she's beautiful, but she is incredibly demanding.
most cats are, and then whack, smack you.
Not.
His name is Grace. The next day he'll wait for you and attack your foot.
So
yeah.
A cat with a grudge.
Yeah, he does have a grudge. Yeah, and we thought he was dead because he was like 20. No, he was like 19 years old, and he was just laying there and looked like he was dead. My wife's like, "Listen, go get my brother and bring him, down to the veterinary hospital." I was like, "Okay, why do I'm going?" It's like, well, it's moral support. Just go. I was like, all right. Got there. It's like 2:00 in the morning, and all of a sudden there's nobody there. It's like a horror movie almost. It's just like dim lights.
Oh, it's one of those scenes where you think you're going to be walking through and somebody's going to come out at you with a knife.
Yeah, something like that. You're just sitting there and you're like, there's nobody around. There's nobody at the desk area, and you're like, hello, and then lights are flickering in the background, and you're like, the fuck's going on here? And then all of a sudden, after we get back there and we put him on there, it's like, well, we think he's dead. All of a sudden, doctor comes walking in. Cat popped up, jumped off the table. It looked like Pet Cemetery.
Oh no.
Pet Cemetery. He's like, let's go home.
That scene always freaked me out in the book.
Yeah.
When they buried the cat. Oh, it's not so much when they buried the cat as when the cat came back.
What's even more scary was when the kid died and they put him in and came back.
Yeah. That's the thing. I found the book more frightening than the film.
Stephen King does that, so he can scare you more ways than whenever.
That's the thing. I preferred his earlier books.
Yeah.
The books he wrote in the sort of 80s. The books he wrote in the 80s are my preferred. So Pet Sematary, Cujo, Silver Bullet.
Oh, I can't watch Cujo. I can't.
I'm
a horror guy. I can't watch Cujo for some fucking reason. I'm a dog person, and it's like just the fact that
I'm guessing Old Yeller is an off one as well.
No, Old Yeller I can watch. You know what? Honestly, I think I get upset when I watch dog movies. Like there's Homeward. Was it Homeward Bound? I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
And the dogs like come home or they go and then there's a there was like a sporting kind of dog that was Michael J. Fox, and
Yeah.
then there was like the
Is
old,
it Scout?
yeah, I think so, yeah, and then there was like the cocker spaniel, not cocker spaniel, what, like every household dog,
Yeah.
kind of thing, like everybody has,
And the cat.
yeah, and the cat. And but then they all come back and the kids all happy and like, oh, chance, and then I start bucking bawling. My eyes are like, like, and my wife looked at me and she goes, "Are you crying?" She goes, "You never cry." I'm like, it's a tender moment. Yeah.
See, The Fox and the Hound got me like that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that was a good one.
The Fox and the Hound was, my dad took us to see that, me, my brother, and my sister. And when it first came out, the first time we had to leave because my sister was crying so loudly. And the second time my dad didn't bring my sister. The
Yeah.
funny thing is, it's an exact repeat of what happened when we went and saw Return of the Jedi.
Oh yeah.
We got kicked out of the theater
What'd you do?
when we saw Return. I didn't do anything. My sister was screaming.
Not doing, no.
Well, to be fair, my sister was 6 just when Return of the Jedi came out. And she sat there and she screamed, "They're killing the teddy bears. They're killing the teddy bears." So we were asked to nicely leave.
But everybody was probably laughing in the theater. Probably.
Yeah, that's I mean, the thing is, I wasn't so bad when I went and saw Star Wars, and I was 3.
Yeah.
But to be fair, I haven't seen them since. So
yeah, but now you can watch them at home now, so you can be like, hey, yeah.
I have never had the inclination to watch them again.
Oh, because that gave you like a bad memory of it.
No. Well, no, it wasn't so much that. I think it's just there are certain films I love. I am a book person through and through. Yeah. I do love films, but if I'm going to watch a film, I want to watch a film that I don't have to watch the next one and the next one to get the rest of the story.
So just one basic film, that's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Star Wars never spoke to me. It's like I haven't seen the next film. I haven't seen the ones that are the original, that are the prequel trilogy. Yeah. And I haven't seen any of the ones that came after. And I think that was one of the things that me and my ex co-host probably disagreed on more than anything, was the fact that I wouldn't watch the Star Wars films. Oh, okay. I had no interest in it.
Yeah, so you just watch like the one basic movie that's just it, and then you wait for the next one single movie, not to follow the prequels, the sequels, and yeah.
I think I would say that that's it though. I think that not my issue with Star Wars in general, but my issue with a lot of things is, I mean, I love the MCU films.
Yeah.
Love them, but I can see them as individual films as well as part of a story.
Yeah.
I saw the first Twilight and the second Twilight. Haven't seen the third and the fourth. I saw the first and the second Hunger Games films. Didn't see the third and the fourth. Okay. Got bored. I saw the first Hobbit film. It took me less time to read the book than watch the film, and didn't see the others that came after it. I haven't seen 5, 6, and 7 of the Harry Potter films.
Wow.
That's
individual films too. That's not like it's continuous.
I read the books, and for the first time in my life, I wanted to rip pages out of a book when I read the last book of the Harry Potter series. Okay. I wanted to rip pages out of the book because it was pandering to the fans and it was rubbish. It read like fan fiction, and I'm saying that as someone who writes it. And I was so disappointed that it colored my experience of going to see the films.
Yeah.
So I still haven't seen them. And I will lose interest in things if it takes just one tiny thing to go, don't want that anymore, not interested.
Well, hey,
And until that point, I am fanatical about it. I'll read everything, watch everything, learn everything, and then just one tiny thing will be enough to go, no, I'm not doing that anymore.
yeah, that's like going into like a house and like, no, wrong color. That's it. Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
that's exactly. I think that everybody has their tipping point, and
Yeah.
mine happens to be if they just do. I mean, that's the thing. The Twilight books weren't bad. Please don't come for me, anybody who's listening to this. They weren't bad, but the films were just awful.
Hey, everybody has their opinions, so it's like they wouldn't make movies and for everybody's opinions to be the
Yeah.
same.
And the Hunger Games, my issue was the fact that they left certain things out that really changed the story.
Yeah.
And
All
that disappointed me. So it's like, no, not doing this anymore either.
Let's go on a higher level, like a higher. Now, my friend wanted me to ask this question, like for every interview I do. I'm like, all right, I missed out on one interview. I forgot to do it. But all right, people, don't hate me for asking this question. Who do you think is going to die first? Keith Richards or Betty White? Because Betty White is going to be 100 in January. Keith Richards is 75.
But Keith Richards has had a really heavy going life.
I know. Then, I think that was the whole thing. Because like, oh, Betty White's going to be 100. I'm like, yeah, but she reached fucking 100,
And not only that, she lives pretty well.
Yeah.
She looks after herself.
Yeah.
Hasn't Keith Richards got really young kids as well? If anything is going to kill somebody, that would be it.
Yeah. So.
Because he's got a much younger wife.
Well, maybe because the younger wife wants the money. I don't know.
He's also got a lot of children.
Yeah, but you figure if there's a woman that's like very young and goes for a guy that looks like Keith Richards, I'm like, there has to be something about the money.
Well, not necessarily, because Keith Richards in his day was pretty good looking. I mean, you think about it.
Yeah, no.
They chose him to play Johnny Depp's dad.
Yeah. That was a good fucking movie. I love that one. That one. I was shocked. I saw the makeup thing on him, and I'm like, wow. He's like 1 foot in the grave, and they made him really look good. Yeah.
See, that's the thing. In my heart of hearts, I don't want to say Betty White. I've just literally finished watching all 7 seasons of The Golden Girls, all 180 episodes. I have just finished, I think, on Sunday. And she's the only one of those left.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't want to wish death on anybody. Well,
you don't really have to answer, but it's a good
I know it's a question that really makes you think.
Exactly.
Because they've just lost a member of the Rolling Stones.
Yeah, the drummer.
Yeah, Charlie.
Yeah.
So
where he also has a younger wife as well.
And he was 80.
82, I think. Somewhere around there. But
yeah, you see, I think that Mick Jagger's going to live forever. But yeah, I think that I'm going to say Keith Richards.
All right, Keith Richards it is.
Well, I just think about it from the perspective of he smokes, he drinks, he had a very, very, very long history with drugs.
Yeah.
He's got young children, a young wife, and they're going on tour again.
Yeah. Yeah. I was going to do a joke like, okay, Harry, start up the machine. It's Keith
See,
Richards.
that's
start it up.
Yeah, go on then, go for it.
Yeah.
But see, that's what I think.
Yeah.
See, that's what I think that's probably, yeah, I think I'm happy with my answer. Keith Richards.
It's like, yeah, I think I would kill him now. Okay. It's like it's like they had like on second watch they do a thing called how would you kill Sean Bean?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Well, that's the thing. I've just, the night before last, I watched National Treasure.
yeah.
And there's a certain scene in it where you see him standing in the middle of a really, really busy road.
Yeah.
And all I was thinking when I saw that scene was, come on, a truck. I want a truck.
I got to mark down memorable mentions and on second watch. That's what I'm doing right now. We call it, this is like I'm writing down for the description part of the, for like the YouTube and and the thing. So that way we call it, I'll tag, 22 minutes on second watch, mentions and whatnot. So, but the Betty White and Keith Richards, that's gonna be a good one. I gotta remember we called it to ask many people that, because I got what I got tomorrow. I got Film Rage tomorrow. So those guys are crazy.
Yeah, yes, they are
Yeah,
absolutely insane.
I started listening like in the beginning of the week and all that, and I'm like, wow, I thought I had energy. These guys have way more energy. I don't know.
They're caffeinated plus.
I think they got an IV of caffeinated, like, like, okay, like I said, okay, Harry, fill me up.
Like a B12 injection.
Yeah, not that one. Give me the old one. Yeah. The more caffeine, the better.
Yeah, B12 injections hurt.
Nah, I'll stick with the tattoo needles.
Yeah.
It's like
I think I'd prefer a tattoo needle to the B12.
Yeah. So what else is there? So what goes on, what's gonna go happening with Not Before Coffee podcast? Any future stuff?
Yeah, I've just started season 3 and 2 weeks ago, and I announced in episode 4 that I'm changing things up again, because I did an entire season where I was doing TV shows and books. And watching a 21, 22 episode run of a season in a week is exhausting. Absolutely exhausting.
Yeah, I know you're talking
especially watching the whole thing and then writing about it, doing research about it, and then recording an episode about it. Is never thought it would be possible.
Yeah,
but
it's very taxing. Yeah,
it is really taxing, especially when you're also reading a book in the week and recording an episode about that. So I announced last week that I'm changing things up a bit, and I'm going to be doing 3 movies a month, plus 1 TV series, which gives me the whole month to watch it, a whole month to get all the episode information together and get everything nice and detailed, because I want to do them better.
Yeah.
They felt rushed.
Yeah.
So I'm doing that. And I've got Lorraine from Once Upon a Nightmare. I've persuaded her to watch a Disney movie. And we're going to be talking about High School Musical, which she has never seen. And of course, she does horror. Her show is horror movies.
Have you seen musicals?
Have I seen High School Musical?
Well, I mean, have you seen just musicals in general?
Yeah. I grew up on them. Seen? Which ones have I seen?
Yeah.
7 Brides for Seven Brothers. Oh, good God. I've seen so many musicals. I used to go to opera with my grandfather when I was a kid. And I had singing lessons for like 12 years and play the flute and the piano. And it was my childhood. So musicals were our thing. Calamity Jane was a very regular viewing for us on a Sunday morning. If we went to our grandparents, if we went to my grandmother's especially, she watched the old films. So everything with Doris Day, Deanna Durbin, Esther Williams. So all the stuff that was done with synchronized swimming and all the black and white films and
Yeah.
all the musicals. That was my childhood.
I think I seen one musical, and this was like 2 years ago. And
What
I don't
musical?
I don't usually watch musicals. I don't like when you go and watch a movie or something and they have singing. I'm like, but musical, I'm like, I went and because they had one called Beetlejuice, the musical.
Oh yes, so you did use the stage musical rather than watching them on screen.
Yeah, so I'm like, I because I love Beetlejuice, and I'm like, okay, I can see this. So my girlfriend's like, listen, all right, for your birthday, I got you tickets to see Beetlejuice, and I'm like, oh, nice. So then I'm like, we got down there, and it was like old set, all the seats, there's not like new reclining seats. It's like the old one, and I'm like, I'm
like a proper theater.
yeah, and I'm like, okay, I think I can fit. Yeah. And honestly, the Beetlejuice musical, and if anybody that has not seen it, or you think it's just a regular musical because it's Beetlejuice and it's gonna be funny, think again. It's like very vulgar language, which is fine. I'm good with that, but I don't think the people that came to the
We're
musical
expecting it.
weren't expecting it and brought their kids. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
That's the face I made, and my girlfriend's like, because we sat there, like we're right here, and all of a sudden, like right in front of us, there's the mom, there's the two kids, and there's the father, and all of a sudden, the first sequence out of the musical is like, hey, welcome to our fucking show, and we don't care if the president is a dickhead, and whatever, and just went off, and then they did the singing and everything else, and here's the mom, here's the dad, and they're like, they're like,
The
what
thing is, they probably have the memories of the film.
Yeah,
but even the
that's what they
film, I mean,
thought it
even
was.
the film was quite crude because it
Yeah,
was a
but it was
15 when it came
more.
out.
It was more animated, kind of like funniness. It wasn't like you didn't hear cursing that much in the movie, and I
No.
think that's what the mom and dad in that row in front of us, because they're like, well, what did we do? I don't know. And the kids
Shall we go at the break?
Yeah.
Shall we go during the interval?
Oh my god! And in the intermission part, I mean, it was great. It's like the whole spectrum of the whole thing is like lights everywhere. It's like all dark, and the way Beetlejuice would be, But then you're in a city, New York City, and you're going, and it's kind of expensive. So I got a bottle of water for myself, M&Ms, and my girlfriend got scotch on the rocks and something else, and it turned out to be like almost like $80.
Doesn't surprise me. Theatre's expensive.
It surprised me a little bit. I'm like, how much is the M&Ms? Like $22.50? I'm like, what?
It's the alcohol that cost.
Well, no, the alcohol, I understood that. And maybe even the bottle of water at one point. I'm like, all right, that's like $5 probably. And then you got the alcohol with the double shot is probably like 20 something, whatever. I don't know. But I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, did I shoot somebody? Yeah. And it was crazy, but I loved the whole thing. I would want to go and do it again, or try a different musical like Broadway thing or whatever. It's something that's more like my style.
I was going to say, It's a Musical podcast did an episode on Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
Because it had a very limited run.
Yeah.
But they do this show that I was on actually, but they do this show that is called It's My Favorite Musical.
Mm-hmm.
Well, It's Your Favorite Musical, where they speak with people about the musicals that they really loved. And the first episode they did was about Beetlejuice, the musical.
Yeah.
So I'd say go and listen to that. But they also do some really out there musicals, really, really modern musicals that I am an old school musical girl, and these are musicals I'd never heard of, but they are really out there, some of them.
Yeah.
Like there's one called Anna and the Apocalypse, which
Sounds
is all about a zombie apocalypse over Christmas. And it's a musical.
It's a Christmas zombie. Hey.
Yeah, it's a Christmas zombie musical.
All right, people, let's go. Key flickers, let's go.
So, but that's a really good show if you're interested in finding out about musicals and things that aren't necessarily the really big mainstream things. They are definitely a place to go to find out, because they have some of the real out there musicals.
You're gonna have to send me like the link to their thing, and then I'll go and check it out, because I'm not even gonna remember it. And because honestly, your brain is a lot better than mine, and
and it's 12:30 here, so I'm doing pretty well.
Oh shit! Oh, my bad. I'm like, damn, we are on 2 hours. Wait, what was it? 2 hours, I think. No, but well, actually, hour and a half almost. But all right, so you're on the 3rd season. Let's try to wrap this up, I guess. And so people, go check out Ray and Not Before Coffee podcast on their 3rd season. Going to do something different, and check her out. Tell everybody where they can find you, and you got any stuff that you want to get sold or whatever.
I have no merch. I have a single mug that I bought for myself to see if I wanted to sell it, and it was like, no, I'm keeping this. I might do some more and do them as a giveaway at some point, but at the moment it's my mug, and I very rarely use it. It's all for promo shots. It's really bad. I literally make a cup of coffee in it and then decant it into another cup to drink out of, so I can wash it and put it away, because I'm quite clumsy. So I have no merch at the moment, but you can find me on Twitter at need_3_mugs, over on Instagram at Not Before Coffee Podcast. And I have a website, but I am in the process of building a new one. And the URL is www.notbeforecoffee.co.uk. And I actually watched the domain Nominate until that domain became available for 3 months.
Yeah, to wait.
Yeah, because somebody had it and they'd not used it for anything, so it was being released, but it takes 90 days to get released from the domain holder. So I was sitting there, and every couple of days it's like, is the 90 days up yet? And the minute, no joke, it became available, I bought it.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, mine was like, like nobody really hasn't even heard of it. I'm like, yay, score. I was like, I think mine, anything else.
I think mine must have been a coffee shop or something.
Yeah, probably. I mean, yours is more like, Not Before Coffee, and that does have a gimmick kind of a feel to it, like for a store wise.
Yeah.
So it obviously it has probably been in that situation. Tattoo Squid, I don't think I've seen that in a situation of anything, but only as a license plate for me.
Well, there you go.
Which I have a license plate, that is the name and all that. I'm like, I'm going to make this effect. Yeah. So, all right, everybody, follow Ray, Not Before Coffee podcast. Also follow myself, Tattoo Squid podcast. You can pretty much find me at podcast Tattoo Squid on Twitter, Tattoo Squid podcast on Instagram. I'm on TikTok. I'm on a whole bunch of different shit. So, and YouTube, which this is going to be on, and this is going to be like, Tattoo Squid podcast. And then you'll see like the picture of myself, like my brand and her brand, and we'll try and make something up on there. And I always try to do something a little bit over the top with the stuff. So you'll see it on Twitter. So
there is nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, because I heard a lot, and I'm trying to do I'll actually try to see if I can put like some kind of like sound clips of maybe like a musical thing or something. I don't know. I'll try to find a musical sound clip, or maybe a little chitty chitty bang bang. Yeah. Yeah, or Spot, or Mary Poppins. Yeah, there we go. We'll put Mary Poppins in there somewhere. Yeah.
Because she's British.
I know. I'm not trying to make fun of it.
There is nothing wrong with being British.
I didn't say that. Yeah.
No, that's the thing. I was looking for stuff the other day, and all I could think was every single time there's a bad guy in an American movie, they're European or they're British.
Yeah, that's true. It's like, or it could have been, Oriental as well. There is an Oriental like evil person, like Army of the Dead.
Much anymore.
But I know you're not really a horror person, but Army of the Dead is not really a good movie. Well, no, that was the thing, because I was like, I was on Cheap Seats Review, the podcast, and they were talking about Army of the Dead, and I'm like, okay, can I get on this, because I got a lot of things I need to get off my chest about this movie. And then all of a sudden we just went off, and it was just the funniest shit. It was just funny. We did everything on Skype, and I'm like, holy shit, like, who does Skype anymore? I'm like, well, it was cool though. I got Skype, and I'm like, all right, let's do it. Dust it off. I'm like, yeah. And we had a good time, and I started saying crap about it, and they're like, yeah, it sucks. It's like, I don't know what happened, until one of the co-hosts, like his screen like blurted out, so you didn't see him. It's like, where the fuck? No. Then he came back and he goes, oh, I'm sorry, I just sat on a blueberry. And I'm like, yeah, exactly. And we were like, wait, what? It just came out of nowhere. It's like, I just sat on a blueberry, I just had to clean it off. And you shut your screen off for that? I'm like, what the fuck, dude? Yeah. But there's another name I gotta put in the mentions. Cheap Seats Review. But oh my god, hiccups. But all right, everybody have a good time, and I know it's like midnight over by you, and I thank you for being on the show. We will be doing this again, because I want to try to get everybody together and do a whole big Zoom chat.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I'm trying to do like another 100 episodes of interviews, so it's gonna be a cluster.
Yeah, that sounds like it's gonna be a lot of people.
It's gonna be mayhem, and I like mayhem. I like craziness. So it and nobody has ever done it before. So I could be the first to have, and you can hold 100 people on Zoom, or I think it's going to be 100. It might be like 80. I don't know, but see what happens. I still got to get some more people and thing. I got Hopskeek News. I'll talk to you after this.
Oh, they're great.
Yeah. I'll talk to you when we cancel this off, and not cancel. That's a bad word. Not cancel.
Yeah. No, we're not. That's a really bad word.
Please subscribe, and buy some merch. Hello, and thank you. Keith
and Richards, listen to the episodes.
Yes, listen to these episodes. And Keith Richards, you're not going to die. Buy some of my merch, please. Yeah. Have a mug. Yeah. All righty. I'll talk to you in a little bit. All right, everybody have a good day. Good night.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, wait.